Noob review.
Hello and welcome to another noobreview.com video preview. Today we're looking at Marvel Vs Capcom 2 on the iPad. For anyone that isn't aware of what this game is, it was originally released on the Sega Dreamcast about, must have been over 10 years ago now. And it stars the characters from the Marvel universe, as in Marvel Comics, and characters from the Capcom games, such as Street Fighter and Resident Evil, things like that. The basic aim is to pick a 3-character squad, as I'm just doing now. Never decide on that final character. And you basically fight your way through 7 stages until you defeat the final boss. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has got something of a reputation for being a kind of mind-boggling and challenging fighting game. So Capcom's decision to release this on iPad seemed a little strange to me, but I figured I'd produce this video and show you how the game's touch controls have turned out. Now, as you can see in the bottom right corner here, they have 2 icons. The one with the SP performs your superpowers, while the icon above it, just to my right there, is basically handles the character assist controls. So you can swipe across that to bring in your other teammates or swap characters, or even perform your your dizzying special super moves. Now at the moment I'm actually struggling a little bit with these controls because I found in the default positions for them to be a little too close together, so I've spread them out a bit more. But I think I've actually spread them out too far. I really should have tested this before I started filming, but it doesn't matter. We'll just persevere and see how we get on. But one thing I've noticed is that with the super moves and the special move buttons, is that blocking that is that you can swipe across the button, and sometimes it just won't register what you're doing, kind of leaving you exposed while you're waiting for an attack to happen. Which, yeah, it just happened then. I actually find it really annoying, and I really had high hopes for this game when it was first announced, because I loved the Dreamcast original. I bought it when it was re-released on Xbox Live Arcade, and you know I'm not unhappy with my purchase because this only cost £1.99 on the App Store, so it's not like it's broken the bank to buy it. But I'm a little surprised that Capcom haven't implemented a different control scheme. Now, if, like me, you're not really happy with how the default button layout is placed on the screen, you can move the buttons around and reposition them to your heart's content. I would have liked it if you could have changed the size of the buttons, and I've tried everything I can think of, but I don't believe you can. So with the button moving out of the way, let's jump back into another fight. This time I've changed up my squad, and hopefully I'll do a little better. I mean, one of the things that I've found with Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's been exacerbated with this iPad release, is that because you're fighting 3 enemies who have basically got 3 health bars between them, it takes a long time to defeat a team. And as such, I usually tend to win just because we've run out of time and I've had more health than they have. But still, this is a very faithful port of the original version of the game, so much so that all of the unlockable content is actually locked at the start of the game, and you have to earn points by, obviously, winning fights to buy all the content. And much like the original version on the Dreamcast, every time you buy something in the store, it makes the price of the remaining items go up, which, you know, at the start, you'll quite easily be able to afford a few characters. But as you unlock more and more content, suddenly everything becomes really ridiculously expensive, meaning you have to win more and more fights just to get that, you know, that extra character color or a new stage. I'm trying not to be too harsh towards this version of the game because, you know, they haven't really done a terrible job porting it over. It's very faithful graphically. In terms of gameplay, it's very much like the old the Dreamcast and PlayStation versions, where, you know, there's no online multiplayer, but it does support multiplayer locally through Bluetooth, which could be a good feature if you can find anyone else that happens to have it. I'm also pleased to report that the game's original soundtrack returns completely intact. For anyone that hasn't heard it before, it's kind of a blend of some soft rock and inoffensive jazz, just playing on a loop with nonsensical lyrics about taking you for a ride, and I don't know, it's just unusual and it adds to the game's overall air of peculiarity. And of course, the screen-filling super moves like I just performed then are as blinding as ever. And, oh yeah, let's just admire this one in which one of the characters turns into a giant monkey and shoots fire out of their mouth. Yes, I think that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the game, in that one of the characters can turn into a giant monkey and shoot fire out of their mouth.
Thank you for playing. Presented by Noob Review.